screens. As I told you before, there's an individual calls himself Derrick Franklin Williams III. He's actually a good friend of Jamie Fernando Gonzalez. They're really good friends. I do know that for a fact. And I do know he knew the little group of the, I don't know, Crowcast or whatever it was. They were all little friends at one point, and then things started going different ways. I can see why. I'm not a big fan of Danny in any way whatsoever because he does some very dirty stuff. He's a big time liar, and yeah, he's a scam artist. Um, I can't say what he does in other stuff, but I can say in screen paints, he's definitely a scam artist. Mr. Williams has very deep, disturbed problems at the end of the day. And this is why I tell people at the end of the day, you got to be careful about people you do business with online. So he sent us some really weird pictures. Right now, I'm logging them up right now on the PC to send over to the attorneys and sending them back to the branch of his building. So apparently, he must be on his way out. Because again, anyone who does stuff like this means they're on their way out, they're leaving. And I told you before that there's something wrong with him. He's mentally ill, or he has some kind of, I don't know what's wrong with him, but you can see at the end of the day that he's not quite normal. So I thought I'd bring this to your attention because right now we're going to be going over to Allentown Police Department, and we're going to be bringing these emails down with us, including his address. I think it's got his address and this information. So I'm going to take care of that today and take this down there. And now he's sending us weird pictures. So he's been sending us weird postcards and stuff like that. As I told you before, the guy has some kind of sexual attraction to me. He's a weird guy, as I told you before. He sent us weird emails about holding me in his arms and basically raping me and stuff like that. So does that, it doesn't bother me at the end of the day. Like I said, I bump into weirdos all the time, but we still have to address this issue with the police and stuff like that. And he's a very, very weird individual. And he does have a past history of getting in some really weird trouble. So, I'm going to be sending this back over to your building. We're just going to send everything back over as we usually do. Thank you for this weirdo, creepy stuff, because again, this is going to help us to be able to get you out of the building even faster, and also to file criminal charges. I got enough of these to send over to the police department in Baltimore and the police over here, showing that you're already now showing weird, psychotic, sexual tendencies toward me and my company. So I'll show you some of the weird emails we've received from this guy. And this is a guy who calls himself a minister of the church. And Derrick Williams right there. And weird stuff. He's a weird, weird individual with a lot of problems. And this is some more of his weird pictures. That's Mr. Williams, naked, half naked, sending us pictures and weird poses. So, guess what, buddy? This is something you should have never sent to me at the end of the day. Now I can get a warrant for your arrest. Yeah, because now it's gotten very serious now. We can get a warrant. I'm going to the police. Right after I get done my videos and stuff, I'm going to pop up to the police. And I'm going to basically file another charge against him. And I'm also going to address that to them to get a warrant for his arrest. Look at this. Told you, he's a weirdo. I told you that. This is the guy who's claiming to be a minister of God, which he's not. He's not a real minister at all. He's a fake. Pond. Got to know how to spell, buddy. Got to know how to spell. Eyes are always capital, by the way. Till I see blood. He's a very, very weird individual. And there he is right there. So, this is what he writes on the back of his postcard. You are now labeled as a sexual predator and stalker. That's right there. And this is what he writes down here. Brother, Minister Derrick Franklin Williams III. There is the address right there where he's being located at. He's been using several locations, so we've been sending out packages to all of them. And he said, tells me we belong together. I told you, weirdo at the end of the day. But that is enough evidence right now for me to file to get a warrant for the arrest. Because now it shows that he is stalking our office. He is sending over weird half-naked pictures. He's made several comments about raping me, and to the point there's blood coming out of me. So yeah, he's a weird guy. So, all right, I'm going to get this ready for the FBI, because I will be taking this up to them, and I will be following more reports with the Allentown Police Department. I got all your information here. Got a nice picture of you right there, posing to be a minister. Yeah, exact same person. Weirdo. Definitely weirdo. Told you at the end of the day. And this is the guy that you guys were supporting on YouTube. So let me give you a look at his YouTube channel so you can match your YouTube channel on who he is. Mr. Williams, you've gotten yourself in a lot of trouble now. I'll make sure that when you're in lockup, that the inmates get those pictures. And you can have all the lovers you want in there. You are a weird guy. These are going to his building right now. Your building's being sued for a lot of money. It's up there. So we got now enough evidence to show that they basically ignored his mental state and allowed him to continue to send us weird pictures and stalker company. So I'll be contacting your legal department, and you better let them know that we have a lawsuit getting ready for them. A big one. And if that building is owned by the city, I'm suing the city of Baltimore also. And I'll be going to his landlord. So now I'll be reaching out to the building. We're filing lawsuits left and right. And I think they don't want it to get out there that they have tenants in their buildings that put other people, other tenants at danger. If you got this kind of activity going on, this is in his apartment, you can see, look at the door. That's his apartment door. If you got this kind of activity going on in your apartment complex, this says a lot right here. So bottom line, we can drag that entire unit to the mud to show at the end of the day that they allowed this guy to continue on after we sent multiple emails and contacted him about his activities. So now you guys are going to either settle out of court or we take it to court. And if I take it to court, it'll be in the millions. Thank you, Mr. Williams. You just got us paid. So all my emails are documented, showing we had conversation with Daryl. I think Daryl was the guy that from management, leasing office. Daryl, we had a conversation doing, and I told you at the end of the day he needed to be removed, didn't I? Now our conversation is going to be different now. It's going to involve a lot of money. I will be filing a lawsuit against you personally because I told you about this whole entire thing. Any of your management crew, leasing office, any of those involved in this nonsense, we're going to file personal lawsuits against all of them too also. So it's going to cost you now. And he did exactly some weird stuff. This is all we needed right here. This is the nail in the coffin. This is all we needed was this right here. Weird pictures from him. That's all we needed. You need to lose weight, man. Really, you need to go on a diet. All that workout, and this is all. Oh my goodness, that's sick. He's a sick individual. Very sick individual. Definitely has some mental problems, as you can see. Now you got this dangerous individual walking around in that apartment, and you got kids in there. You got women walking up in there, and that mothers and stuff in that apartment complex. And this guy's in here doing this kind of activity. They should have handled it when we told them to handle it. We sent them multiple emails back and forth telling him that he had mental problems and you need to get him removed out of the building. Multiple messages back and forth, and you ignored them. And I said, last conversation I had with the manager, I said, you know you're responsible, right? And he said, yes. Good. I'm going to sue you for millions. So your building's getting sued. All the managers are involved in this getting sued. There you go. And if we find that that building is linked to the city, and if my lawyers can possibly spill it over there, we're suing the city also. Mind you didn't contact just me. You contacted a company at the end of the day. You contacted a building, office building. This is a company that you contacted. So this has much more weight to it. So we can show basically a history of him stalking us in that apartment, contacting her emails, posing as a minister, which he was not. Does that look like a minister material to you? Yeah, okay. Let me see. So you'll give us his direct YouTube channel. Told you it's weird. I told you. Creepy guy. Creepy guy. See, when you guys send us stuff like this, James, this is your friend, by the way, so you know that. So since he has mentioned you multiple times in email messages like crazy, he mentions his name all the time, we can link him to you, which means anything he gets, you're going to get. That's why I think the problem with Rogers figured out he was crazy. That's why they had that falling out on his page, because he figured that guy was a nut job. Now, like I said, not a big fan of Roger Moore. I'm going to sue the crap out of him. That's going to happen. But Rogers figured out he was nuts. And that's why they had the argument back and forth. You notice Rob was calling him a scammer, and he removed him. Now, there might have been another reasons why he removed him. At all, removing this entire state's not going to change him. And I got a funny feeling, if he has the same weirdo nonsense toward me, he directed that nonsense toward Rogers, too. So Rogers is getting the same thing, too, also. I guarantee you. So anyone who seems to cut him off or whatever, make him angry, this is how he reacts. And it's, mind you, he's a friend of Fernando. That's Fernando's friend. And that's the guy who has your personal information and his PayPal accounts, because he did crooked business at the end of the day and ripped you guys off. And he has friends like this. It's the kind of people he has in his circle. Yeah, not too feeling comfortable, are you? Yeah, you better get lawyers. You better get lawyers to get your stuff removed off that PayPal account. Because if that's the kind of company he keeps at the end of the day, really? Yeah. Let me tell you something. You don't do business with people that do business with crooks. Because if they do business with crooks, that means they're crooks themselves. So if he's doing business with people like this, and this guy mentions him hundreds and hundreds of times in all his emails and stuff, and they know each other, yeah, you might want to get an attorney, and you may want to contact his PayPal account and get that crap removed. If not, that's your problem at the end of the day, not mine. I couldn't care less. I'm suing the guy and throwing him in jail, so it doesn't mean anything to me. Let's see. What do we have it down in the whatchamacallit account? He can't even spell brother. It's brethren, not brethren. It's brethren. These are the emails we have we're sending over. All that's being sent over. This was already sent over already about that licensing. Fernando, I'm making the call with the FBI on Monday. So you know that. So I'm going to go and make the call. Let me see. Do I have it listed here? Yeah, there we go. There's a number for the FBI. I will be reaching out to them tomorrow to get you taken care of. Why? Because this is your mess, man, at the end of the day. This is you. You talk to that guy. You convince him all that nonsense in the day. So I'm going to call FBI. I'm going to have the Homeland Security and whatever it is. I'm going to let them know that you're undocumented and go get you. Because at the end of the day, you caused this mess. This is your doing. So I'm going to quicken your process up a lot faster. I'm going to make that phone call. I got the number right here. I'm going to make that call. This is your doing. This is your stuff at the end of the day. See, these are all the letters we were sending back and forth to the office. So we have a paper trail, a mile long, conversations back and forth with them. So yeah, Daryl, I think that's your name at the end of the day. The guy with conversation, I'm suing you. And trust me, you don't make enough for what we're about to hit you with. You don't make enough money. You're going to get sued for millions. That's why the other guy, when I sat there and said, we got a packet coming through, and the other guy said, I got nothing to do with this, and he left, there's another person now. It's a woman that's now taking the calls. He's not there anymore because he got the freak out of here. Yeah, smart man. Smart man. And you guys said you had a conversation with him, and he promised not to do it again. You're done. You are done. I'm suing all of y'all. So these are all the messages we're sending back and forth to them saying, hey, look, this guy's a problem. We need to address the issue. Guy's a problem. All this email went back to them. And you guys ignored it. And now we're receiving this nonsense at the end of the day? Yeah, lawsuit. Mr. Williams, thank you. I appreciate we're going to get a lot of money out of this. And it shows he was also attacking other family members. He was sending this out to businesses and stuff like that. Oh, yeah. Now, this is going to mess it up for anybody else, like single black men that are trying to get into places like this. They're not going to allow them in now. This is going to close the door for them. So he messed it up for his own people. He had an opportunity to get into public housing as a single man. And again, virtually impossible. Hard to get in there. They mostly reserve those places for single mothers and stuff like that. Families, that's what they're for. So it's rare that you get somebody in there that's by himself. So if you're in there by yourself, what you want to do is you basically want to show that you're a good person while you're in there, do the best you can while you're in, and pave a way for other people to get in. Because there's other single black men that could use that opportunity to help them out. But this guy came in there and wrecked it for them. Once we sue the building, they're not going to allow anybody in there that's single. They're going to cut that out, and they're going to make it only for women and children and families. That's it. That's what they're going to make it for. Single mothers and families. They're going to cut it off. I guarantee you. That's what's going to happen when they get sued. He messed it up. He messed it up for his own people. I sat there and said the other day, remember I told you about Fernando's situation where basically he makes his people look bad, doing all that dirty stuff he does at the end of the day, make them look bad. Same thing with our people. With the same people like this at the end of the day that mess it up for everybody else. So if a young black man or an older man is trying to get on his feet and he just needs a place to stay, something where the rent's going to be a little more reasonable to help him out to get him his feet, he messed it up for him. Doing this weirdo stuff. Now, Mr. Williams, this doesn't bother me anyway whatsoever. You know why? Because you gave me ammunition. You literally have. It's like you wearing a paper armor suit like, here, take this impact round and just aim it at me and I'll take the hit. That's literally what you did. You gave me ammo. This is ammo for us. This is going to allow us now to go in and file very serious sexual predator charges against you. Do you have any idea what that's going to look like when it hits that building? That they got somebody in the building walking around doing weird stuff like that, and you got kids walking through this building. You got women that are walking through this building. You think any man in that building is going to allow his wife or his girlfriend to walk around and you're in there doing stuff like this in your apartment? No. So these little packets right here, they're going out to your building. They're going right back to your building. You want to keep a couple of these. We got 3 of them. They're going to go over to FBI and they're going to go to Allentown Police Department. And from there, we can transfer the docket over to Baltimore Police Department. And we're going to file a sexual predator charge against you. Because what you're doing, you're stalking me. I got emails over here stating, because I saved all this. We saved all this. Make sure he didn't do anything else stupid, and you gave me exactly what I needed. So we got emails over here talking about you raping me. We got emails over here talking about how you're in love with me. Look at this. We belong together. Weirdo. Really weirdo. Weirdo. Told you. Told you it was in that case. We told you this. Now imagine if he decided that he was going to sell that black paint and y'all did it out of spite, out of me. I'm going to go buy his black paint. Couldn't care less anyway, but I'm going to go buy his paint. And he'd have had your address where you lived at. Can you imagine your kids getting stuff like that in the mail? Can you imagine it? Guy calls himself a minister of the church. Literally. Can you imagine that? He get your address and he send you weird stuff over email and your kids see that stuff. That's an open, there's nothing covering this. So if the mailman just leaves it there and your kids pick this up and see this, what's your reaction going to be? Your reaction going to be to kick this behind. That's what your reaction is going to be. That's the kind of weirdo, that's the kind of stuff, this is the kind of people that Jamie surrounds himself with. This is one of Jamie's friends. He surrounds himself with these people. Let me see, I want to get channel. There it is. This is YouTube channel right there. All this is all documented here, which is being sent out to different branches. That's where it's going at. And now your pictures were going up with it. Weirdo. I told you, weird guy. Let me see. Let me go over to, it's not brother, it's brethren. Gee whiz, you can't spell that correctly. You know, if you're going to call yourself a person from the church, at least know how to spell it correctly. That's not how it's spelled, it's brethren. My goodness, man. That's why I said he serves the devil. That's the devil's work right there. You're going to tell me no man of God, and I wouldn't dare have you ever say that out of your mouth, that a man of God, a true man of God acts that way, then you're asking for trouble. Jesus never acted like that. That is the devil, ladies and gentlemen. You are getting a first-hand look at a person who serves Satan. They call the wolf in sheep's clothing. That's a person who claims to be a person of God, but deep down inside, they serve demons. And this is why they tell you in the Bible, be careful about wolves in sheep's clothing. And this is what he is. He's wolves in sheep's clothing. He calls himself a minister of God, but yet goes in and does weird stuff like that. And these people at this apartment complex, which you're going to pull up to also and put your apartment complex on blast, knew that he was this person at the end of the day. They knew it. They saw the emails. They got the emails of him claiming to be wanting to rape us, rape me, and stuff like that. They got all that information, so they knew 100% what he was, and they allowed him to stay in that unit. And now it's gotten to the point where he's doing stuff like this, and this also puts in danger the kids in that apartment and single mothers in that apartment. Heck, it puts the young men in that apartment at risk. Because if he has those kind of weird sexual tendencies, imagine some young kid, some young guy walking up and down the hallway, or some young boy walking in the hallway, and that guy's walking around in there. And they knew that and did nothing about it. So this is going to cost you a lot of money for that apartment complex. A lot of money. Yep. And I'm pretty sure the other tenants, when receiving these packets, because they're going to be over there, they're not going to be happy with this. There is no way in the world I would let my son or daughter walk out there if I knew there was a guy living next to us that was doing that in his apartment. No. So that's why we got to get the police involved. Because we got a sexual predator. They got a sexual predator in their building. So I'm going to, before I go down to my other location, I'm going to do my recording first. I got my videos done here. We're going to do our other location first. We need to get out there first. And then I'm going to pop over to the police department, have a nice long talk with them. And we're going to file for sexual predator, for stalking, my whole 9 yards, everything. Mr. Williams, you do know that when you go into the system, this will be on your record. You know that, right? Like, they give up those files quick in there. So what they do to those particular people is absolutely horrifying. I mean, it's horrifying. Someone get castrated. It's really bad. Because, again, nobody wants anything like that in their building. These are people at the end of the day who do weird stuff like this, or on the verge of doing other worse things. And there's no way in the world any apartment complex should ever want people like that in their building. That's why we do background checks on people before they go into apartments, because you got kids in there, you got women, you got children there. You can't have people old people in there. You can't have people walking around in there doing stuff like that in their apartments. So yeah, once this ends up on your charge, at the end of the day, if you do get out of the situation, you got to sign up as a sexual predator, which means you can't be in their school zones, any of that stuff whatsoever. And when you go to prison and they find out that stuff is on your chart, you're going to have to go in protective custody, because they're going to definitely jack him up in there, because they don't like those kind of people. We've had them come in. They don't last long in there. They never last long in there. They don't last long in there. Because again, anyone's going to attack a small child or a kid, or even the tendencies he's showing right now gives off that vibe. And you can sit there and go, oh, but I'm not that type of what? Look at the stuff you send over in the mail. You could be doing that. You could be he could be watching anybody in there. Who knows what he's in there watching? And he's got that camera over top of his head too. Yeah, I wouldn't trust that guy near a school zone. Now with this weird stuff right here, oh heck no, I wouldn't trust you near a school zone. Put it this way, Mr. Williams, do you think you can get a job as a teacher if this ended up on your application? There you go. They wouldn't trust you near a school zone. So I think that if you're this type of person in that building and you got women and children walking around there, young boys, young men walking in that environment, and you're doing this kind of stuff in your apartment, yeah. That's a big high concern. Let's go over to YouTube. Let's bring him up. So getting kicked out of unit's not the problem you have to worry about. It's the jail part you're going to have to worry about. That's the part you're going to have to worry about. Because I'm going to explain something to you. When you get in there, if you did something like that or anything close to that, or even if you have a sexual predator, anything that pops up on your report that you are in that realm at all, period, your report gets passed around. They will literally pass your, or tell inmates, yo, see the guy over there? Yeah, he got this. He's flagged. He's a pedophile. He's a petty. It'll come up. Don't make a difference. It'll make a difference. It ain't got to be kids. The fact that you have it on there, that's what they're going to do. And you're gonna be jacked up, man. I'm trying to say it in a nice way. You're going to get jacked up. And the way it goes in there, if you're bunky is that person, you got to jack them up. Because you don't jack them up, they'll jack you up for letting it slide. So it ain't going to last longer there. There's nowhere in the world, no apartment complex would ever let somebody move into an apartment with this kind of energy. Nobody would. Would you want a neighbor like that living next to your kids? Doing that kind of stuff? No, you wouldn't. So why would you want to have something like that in your apartment? When people show themselves, they show who they are. There he is right there. So this is the fellow who sent us the weird pictures. Calls himself a minister. This is what he wrote on the back of it. This is the apartment complex he's at. Now there's 3 units in there. One's a low rises, high rises, and one's a rec center. All 3 of them have packets that were sent to them. And in these packets basically showed his colorful emails he sent out to us. You're in your apartment unit right there, claiming to be a minister. And these are the emails we received from you addressing our company. They're all time-stamped and dated. And you can't spell, by the way. This is the devil right here, people. Well, not the devil himself, but a person who serves Satan. Another email again. Yeah, I told you it wasn't wrapped too tight. I told you it was mentally unstable. I told you that. And you sent this to my company. So this didn't go to me. It went to my business. So that holds a lot more weight in court. That you're attacking a company. Now you saw that nasty nonsense right there. And this is the fellow right here who calls himself a minister. This channel is dedicated to getting people closer to God. Does that sound like a person that is a minister of God? There he is right there. Same person here, same person there. Weirdo. Told you. Now, those of you who entertain this nonsense and think this is fun today, you just entertain Satan at the end of the day. You're signing your death warrant. That's all you're doing. You're not hurting me at the end of the day. You're literally signing your own death warrant. Remember, I told you, Satan's out to kill you every day. So if you're entertaining this and you find this fun at the end of the day, then that means whatever's out there that's hunting you is pretty much going to get close to its goal. That's what you have to worry about. That's why I don't have a concern about whether, maybe people, that doesn't bother me at all, period. You know why? Because I know there's something out there far worse than you could ever imagine that's watching you every single day and trying to figure out what is other legions of demons to figure out how to kill you and get you off this earth. And you know what you're doing? You're entertaining it. You're entertaining what it's trying to do. So you could walk outside, car could jump a pavement, take you out. Anything can happen in this day. Man, you're not promised to be here forever. That's the rules. So you're entertaining something that's trying to kill you, instead of basically trying to lean towards someone who's trying to save you. So I already know what's going to happen to you. I've been down that road already. Mind you, I did all that stuff already. I served the devil. I went out there and did all that crazy stuff. I know what's waiting for you. So it's sad because at the end of the day, that what you entertain is going to definitely take your life. If your time runs out on this earth, because you're not here forever, you never know when you're going to go. Some people leave this earth at 41 years old. Can you believe that? 50 years old. Some leave at 18. Some don't even never make it to make it into this world, and they leave. So your day could be the day. And if your day is the day and you're entertaining Satan, where do you think you're going? As for him, yeah, if he doesn't get his act together, he's definitely going to meet the devil. Because the acts he's doing right now, he may be too far gone. I don't know. I can't say it in the day. But there are some people, like I said, not everybody's meant to go to heaven. You do know there's a certain number of people that are going to heaven. There's a certain number of people are going to hell. There are some people that are just going to go to hell. That's it. I know it sounds like a word people say to people, but literally there is some people, there's a number of people that are meant to go to hell. You're going to go to hell. You better pray you're out of the one that gets to go to heaven. This guy at the end of the day, like I said, very serious mental problems. Let me get out here. I got work to do at the end of the day. Just want to put this on blast real quick so everybody can see this nonsense and we can show this to the courts later on. I am going to take this over, Mr. Williams. When I send this back to your building, so I got all the pictures and stuff loaded up. When I send it to the different branches in your building, I'll let them know the problems we're having with you, and we feel that you do have some mental issues. You do not need to be in the building. You're not healthy. You're not in sound mind. Also, too, we're going to get the police docket that's going to come back. It's going to say that we've had to file sexual harassment sexual harassment criminal charges against you. Then there'll be lawsuits after that. I also will let the building managers know that we are filing an action, a full lawsuit against you, which means we're suing you for millions of dollars. Because we told you, we sent you out multiple emails out of our accounts explaining to you that this person was a problem and he should have been removed. And you told us that you were in the process of getting an attorney and having him removed, which you did not do. All you did was give him a stern talking to. So now we've reached this level at the end of the day, and lawsuits are coming. For the building management, every single one of you involved, we will be suing you personally. We warned you, didn't we? There you go. All right, that's basically about it, people. Y'all have a good day. Be safe out there. I got to be out in the park in a few minutes. Got to go. Whoops, I got to go.